Howlers.
Welcome, everybody, to Fade to Obsidian, a very special episode that we didn't even get Crescent's permission to do. He's not here because we're talking BookCon. Didn't even tell him we
Does
were
he
gonna
even
do
know?
this. Nope.
Okay.
No, he's gonna find out when I drop this instead of
I'm
Sims.
Crescent now.
Yes. I am Skipper, joined as always by Sharkbate, who's clearly been here every episode, and joined
Every
regularly
episode.
by Salem. Welcome to both of you. We just had
He's
the
gonna drive
fabulous
all
time.
the way to Virginia to kill me. I know his ass ain't flying.
Yeah. He didn't get to come to BookCon. He doesn't get to be on the episode. Sorry, Crescent. Ooh. Yeah, we're talking BookCon, New York City. We just got back. How are we feeling post? Let's just get into like, we've all done cons before. Are we all still exhausted?
I think I'm still sleep deprived, but like, because I took Tuesday off, but then I went back to work. But like, I'm still okay physically. It wasn't as intense as I thought.
I would agree, like, physically compared to other, I mean, granted, we only did the one day in the con itself, but also, like, it was spread out across Javits, and Javits is a newer convention center, so it's not just all concrete floor.
Yeah.
So I think, like, my feet appreciated that. Even though we were in New York, we were walking around even outside con time.
Yeah.
But I worked all day from the train on my
Oh,
way
yeah.
home. And I am very sleepy still because I then worked all day yesterday and all day today. And I just haven't really given myself any time to recover, which is par for the course.
I am the same. I used Monday as my travel day, and then I was immediately back to work on Tuesday. Like, I was just straight into it. And I was like, great, this is good. But yeah, BookCon, first time they're back since 2019 because they shut down for
Wow.
COVID.
Crazy.
We'll give the disclaimer that there is a lot of discourse about it online, and this is our opinions and what we experienced. Uh, Overall, what are our thoughts?
Well, first, do you, Skipper, because you know probably most, do you want to explain the history of BookCon?
I can absolutely. Yeah. So I don't know in what decade it started or what year it started, but how it used to work is that BookCon and Book Expo were partnered together and worked side by side. So Book Expo would be like the Wednesday to Friday and prefer for professionals only. So that was your booksellers, your librarians, your people in publishing, and then a handful of like selected guests that were content creators, but they were like the ones that had 100,000 views, like, or followers, like they were your top echelons. So that was Book Expo, and it would happen during the week, and you could only get in if you were special invited, or like I worked for Indigo, they got, which is a major book chain in Canada, so they would get like, I think like 20 to 30 that they could give out to the entire company. That's 5,000 people. So Indigo coming from Canada is one thing. I don't know how people fought over it if you worked for Barnes and Noble, but it was a very select group. And then BookCon would come in on the weekend. And the people who went to Book Expo could also go to BookCon. I believe they got advanced, like early access to tickets and everything, but it would open up to the general public. And so the two of them would work together. And I think it was like 30 to 40,000 people would attend the BookCon portion of it. Book Expo was more of a 5 to 10,000, and then BookCon was bigger. And then that went on until 2019, or I guess 2020 when we hit COVID, and they didn't bring it back after that. So that's your BookCon history.
Interesting. I wonder if, like, they felt like Book Expo wasn't needed anymore in the post-COVID virtual selling world.
I'm curious to see why they didn't bring Book Expo back.
Yeah, and it is interesting. Like, I'll give you some. I no longer work in book worlds. I can give you whatever. I'm no longer behind a wall that I used to be and have to give disclaimers. I will tell you. So, I am very fortunate that I live just outside Toronto. So I used to go all the time to Random House Canada, which is downtown Toronto, and they would have once every 2 months would open the office and all of booksellers, librarians could go in and have these mini functions. And 2020 hit and they put everything online. And then that's when physical arcs, we no longer were getting them sent to the store. It was all NetGalley. You would get special arcs sent to you, but to your email. And especially Random House realized they no longer had to do in-person events. They could do it all online, and that was more fair for the rest of the country to attend. HarperCollins did eventually go back to having some events, and they were always better at traveling the country to get to everywhere to see different stores that weren't just in Toronto and different booksellers and librarians. But I think that a lot of publishing said, why are we doing this when we have the ability to do it online? Yeah. We can just throw you online. Here's your e-galley instead of a physical arc. You save so much money. And I wonder if then they looked at it and went, then we don't have a reason for Book Expo. These people can just go to BookCon.
Well, that's kind of where I was heading with my question is that did the publishers basically express to the Book Expo folks it's not in our budget anymore. We haven't had it in the budget in 6 years. We're not going to expend that money for Expo. We'll put some of money towards con, but not Expo, and just do the one smaller event or bigger consumer event, but not the industry one.
Yeah, it would make sense to me. But yeah, I don't know why we lost Book Expo. And it was funny because when we were at the Andy Weir panel, they almost made it felt like a little bit of a snide remark about he was like, oh, welcome back to BookCon. We're no longer attached to Book Expo. And I was like, that's a bizarre comment to make. Why does it matter that Book Expo is not here?
I'm going to look it up after this.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing in your mind? What do you...
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Well, thank you for that history lesson. That's very fun.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Salem, for asking.
Either until this year.
Yeah, and I never did too, but I have a lot of friends who have. I think it is because I think a lot of the negative discourse we're getting is people who I think know of Book Expo or what they used to be together. All these people who were like, where are all the arcs? And it's majority of that was Book Expo where they were feeding into...
Well, maybe.
Right?
I honestly don't even think that that's that. I honestly getting maybe a little ahead of ourselves because we were going to talk about the discourse, but I legitimately think it's just a straight up they are felt entitled to arcs. Because even Book 6 years ago, they would not have given out as many arcs as they gave out this year to consumers. Be so fucking for real. They would have given maybe 10.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just felt and again, I did not see anyone in person complaining about not getting an arc. I didn't even really witness in person the run to the table to get them. We saw the lines obviously, but I think because it was not really something that we were super worried about, it didn't really impact our experience.
I also think that was a lot of Saturday. Saturday was the chaotic day. We only went Sunday. And so that was the day that fights were breaking out in front of the publisher houses over arcs because from what I've heard, speculation, because it was not like this on Sunday. They did not have... I can only imagine that it was people crowding around the different publisher booths to try and get ARCs, and they were trying to maintain lines. I think I had ran into somebody in the elevator where they were talking about trying to get ARCs, and they're like, yeah, we ended up leaving because it was one of those where you go and you find a line and somebody says, yes, this is the end of the line. And then you actually find out, no, there's actually an employee over here, and that's actually the end of the line. And so it was a lot of mass confusion, which then led to people being frustrated and then thinking other people are cutting them. And then all rumor, apparently a physical fight broke out, but there were people pushing each other. And then like it was a hot mess apparently on Saturday morning. So thankfully Sunday was not a hot mess. It was just some crazy lines. And like you said, we didn't even try to get ARCs because the lines were too long. We didn't want to sit in it.
Yeah,
there were only so many.
The only thing that was annoying, and I think you mentioned this in your reel earlier today, Salem, but like the only thing I found kind of frustrating is like the only place I saw like a schedule of any kind printed out was like Kingdom of Threads. They had their schedule of the signings that they were doing in the booth or in their display. Nowhere else to do so. They were like, oh, the only line I went up to just to be like, what are we doing? You know, because like you see a line, you want to know what they're waiting for. And it was around a publisher, so I thought like probably an ARC or a signing or something. But like I went up, this is early on Sunday, and I asked like just like listening to the staff person that was talking, and she was like, so we're like not taking anyone else in line right now. We're telling people to come back 30 minutes before to get a sticky and then to come back at the time to like get in line to get an ARC. And I was like, I don't even think she said to get an ARC, but she said to get back in line. And I was like, okay, but for what? And she like just didn't say. And then I was like, but 30 minutes before when?
Before
like
when?
there's no time. Like what are you talking about? Like you just expect us to magically know what you're talking about. And I saw like, you know, you were saying folks were saying that like there were posted schedules. I'm like, where though?
No.
But
what are you talking?
Well,
what are you talking about?
And we even looked in the morning. Like I know I looked the night before, and then I glanced in the morning to see if there was any stories posted, because we were sitting there waiting in the holding area they had us in, and I was looking up like, hey, okay, look at Random House, look at HarperCollins, like have they posted any physical posts or to their stories or even BookCon about when ARCs drop and how to do it? Because we were hearing different speculation on, oh, you have to get a wristband, oh, you have to get a sticky, oh, you have to do this, and it's like, okay, but what do I actually do? There was no real direction on how you got an ARC. And then we did get an ARC, but it was an e-ARC. And that was just from us walking around. That was it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got it. It didn't work for us in Canada.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. Can I email it to you? Maybe.
That's illegal. Yeah. The other, what did that just remind me of? Something about, well, anyways, I felt like for the most part, like all of that stuff was the main thing I would say for the con itself and the organization is like a little bit more communication would have been nice, because it was the first year back. It is the first event. Like they should have known that this would have been the first event of this kind for a lot of attendees. A lot of there's been a boom in the online bookish community over the last 6 years, and a lot of people in this audience like go to romance or romantasy, like small book signing events where all you're doing is like standing in a line, getting another signature and going, standing in a line, getting another signature and go, like, and maybe there's some arcs and stuff like that, but like that's literally all you're doing. This event is not that. And people's reactions to the reservation situation, people's reactions to getting in line for ARCs, like those reactions I think are because this is a new experience for them and they did not have their expectations leveled beforehand.
True.
Yeah.
And I also think, to like piggyback off of that, is this was a convention. And I think a lot of people had that, and even seeing stuff online, I feel like this was a lot of people's first general convention where all three of us have been to larger scale conventions, upwards of 90,000 people. And this was 25,000 people. And for us, this was like, oh, this is small. This isn't that big of a deal. Of course, I'm going to like slowly go through Indie Alley. Like, and they just thought that it was going to be open space and they could be seeing authors and interacting with them like it was a small personal event. And this is not a small personal event. This is a full-blown convention.
Yeah. I do hope that the people that were complaining that Indie Alley authors were separated from like the main signings shut up after they saw the signing lines.
Yeah.
Probably not, but I hope they did. Because I like got into like an argument, not an argument, but I like a discussion on Threads. I was like, but it would not be good for the indie authors if their table was next to Lee Bardugo.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like, this would not be good for anybody involved. Like, that author would get no attention.
No attention. And also, like, yeah, like, I think the great thing about Indie Alley is you can kind of hype people. And you're not going to stand in a line of someone you don't know to try and hype them, rather than Indie Alley when you just, like, someone catches your eye. You can be like, oh, what's happening here? Like, I saw a great post
Tell
by
me about
someone.
your story.
Yeah. And, like, quite frankly, I don't think I bought as much because even early on, my back was hurting that I was like, this bag is empty. But I took so many, like, and I do this as well at all conferences or like conventions when you go down Artist Alley. I just take everybody's like business cards and bookmarks, and then I sit back and look. And I saw something on Threads of someone saying like, yes, she didn't make enough at the convention to afford her booth, but her online sales spiked. And I'm like, that is what makes it exciting. Of like,
yeah,
you're right. If you are next to Lee Bardugo, no one's going to go up to you and get your business card or your bookmark to look you up later. You're just, and half the time, you're just going to walk. You're not going anywhere near it. Yeah, you're not going anywhere near it.
Well, and even then, it's like that was I think it was actually a great idea to seclude them, because now you're intending to go and look at indie books rather than looking at big publisher books. And so if you're somebody that doesn't like indie books for some weird reason, I don't know, maybe there's some people that don't, that you don't want to go over there, then don't go over there.
Yeah.
But if you want to go and support independent authors, like, I think that was great that BookCon highlighted indie authors in order to help them get some visibility there. And if they wanted to, there might have been possibility for them making connections with other like actual publishers. Who knows?
Yeah, because it's not like they were on the same floor as like bookstores. Yeah, I love an indie alley because, and also I will say, like, not one aisle of indie alley was ever quiet.
Yeah.
The whole day on Sunday, even at the very end of the day when like half the authors were already like, okay, I'm gonna pack up and go. Because you guys, I like left the Andy Weir panel early to just like wander around. And you two hung out. So like I was just down in Indie Alley walking up and down, and it was still busy.
Yeah.
Like I think they did great.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of posts of them talking about how they sold out and how they were so excited that there were so many authors that just completely sold out. And that warms my heart, because that just means that they're getting all this support.
Yeah, me too.
So
it was great.
One question I do want to ask about book collection things. I've been seeing some other stuff online about people thinking that it was there were more romantasy genre type books than there were like full blown any kind of genre. Like, what are your guys' thoughts on that? Having walked through Indie Alley and the publishers and stuff.
Go ahead, Skipper.
I was going to say, I think that is people's bias that all female fantasy authors are romantasy. Because, yes, it was a lot of female authors, but, like, Veronica Roth I don't call romantasy. Like, she is dystopia. I have off the top of my head. That's who I saw. That's probably the biggest author I met, so that's where I'm going with that. I am not someone who seeks out romantasy, and I had more than enough to look at. But also you had your two headliners were Matt Dinniman and Andy Weir. Like, that's not romantasy at all. They're both hard sci-fi. And then, like, again, I don't regard, like, Victoria Aveyard really as romantasy. I think people just slaughter in there because she's female. I think all female YA authors get put into that. So I think that is a prejudice that people are looking at.
All of the, like, YA fantasy from a decade ago. Like, they're, like, recategorizing all of that as romantasy. I'm like, stop. But, like, and sometimes I wonder if it's, like, publishers or marketing doing it because they want to, whatever, boost sales. But, like...
Yeah.
But it's not. Like, please stop doing that.
And that's not to quite literally about teenagers. Like, it can't be romance if it's about teenagers. Please stop.
There can be a romantic subplot, but please shut the fuck up. Yeah. I think in general, Skipper is correct that, like, people saw a lot of female authors in Indie Alley and were like, oh, that's all romantasy. Yeah. Yes, there was a lot of romance, romantasy, and even, like, sci-fi fantasy or sci-fi romance, like, maybe. But, like, it was first of all, every single con Indie Alley is like that and has been like that for years. Awesome con. Like, the ratio was not off at all, in my opinion. Like, period. Like, there was one panel about romantasy.
Yeah.
Right? One, maybe two.
Right.
But, like, I did not think that the ratio was off at all. I did not think, like, the vast majority of the featured authors, not romantasy. There were romance, and there were some romantasy, but not more than any other genre. Again, like, I think if you're talking about just Indie Alley, if you took romance and romantasy together, then it's probably more than half of the indie authors in attendance, but not by, like, a wide margin. And also, again, that is not abnormal to an Indie Alley at a convention.
Correct. And I, like, to follow up with that, I think I would love to know what these people were actually looking for. Like, were you looking for more sci-fi or straight up fantasy? Or are you trying to go for, like, you're upset that there's no mystery or, like, biography there? Because that's not the demographic of people who go to these conventions. Like, this is, at the end of the day, I keep describing it to everyone who's not in book world of, like, oh, it's a Comic-Con specifically for books, and Comic-Cons have always targeted comics, which is sci-fi fantasy, and so you're going to get that. The fact that you even got just straight up romance is weird for a Comic-Con, but that's what sells. Like, are these people like, where are my horror? I wanted Stephen King. Like, what were you looking for? Are you upset there was no cookbook section? Like, what did you think was going into this?
There were horror authers in Indie
There were.
Alley.
Yeah.
I
think we stopped and talked to them.
I was like, cool, not me. Yeah. Appreciate your game, but I'm not playing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I saw a couple nonfiction authors too. Like,
yeah, I'm sure there were.
There were some things sprinkled in there.
Because someone was trying to sell me on the history. We were gonna there was like a history pamphlet I took home. And I was like, I like history.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so speaking of that, that lady, so I saw later in another reel, she was at the AI booth.
Oh.
There was an AI booth. Yeah, we walked. So she was like, oh, do you want, like, a list of books that are history based and, like, history Regency or whatever? And I think Skipper took,
it was like
you like history.
She gave it to me too. Like, it was like, the company was a tour company.
Yes.
That did, like, history-based tours.
Yes. And I think their booth up top had something about AI on top of it. And so I don't know if it was like a compilation of AI things. That was because then people were upset because ReadPop doesn't want to have AI associated with their company. Yeah. And so, or at least with their cons. But, like, people were like, oh, ReadPop, like, what happened to your no AI policy?
Interesting.
Because at Emerald City Comic Con there was, so apparently Emerald City Comic Con also had a no AI policy, which they upheld. But then people were talking about this, and I think it was like, I don't know if it was just branding on their tent or what, but
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find it again. But
Yeah, interesting.
Ew, because we signed up for that newsletter.
Yeah, we did.
I did not.
Okay, well, I did because I am incapable of being like, no, thank you.
I use fake email to use for those.
As soon as I make eye contact with someone, I'm like, sure. It's a miracle I only walked away with one book.
Yeah.
You only
It's a
got
miracle.
one book?
I only bought one.
Wow.
One book.
I got
What
3.
book?
And then the
2.
ebook.
I got 2. What did you get?
This is, ironically, it is romantasy.
Oops.
Oh yes, the gorgeous one.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
But so it's
That is upside down, man.
I was gonna say,
Shut up.
I'm not reading that.
Oh,
Songs
that's
of Another
cool.
Time.
Songs of Another Time, and it's an Arthurian retelling. So that's Lady of the Lake, and it's this is an omnibus. It's a trilogy, and it's got like a little novella, and this is all 3.5 books.
That's cool.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Is that indie or is that publisher?
Yeah. So
that's cool.
And I know, isn't that gorgeous? And actually, the artist that did it's Steph. The artist that did the like cover and the end paper art signed it. She was in Indie Alley too. Yeah. Oh wait, there's something else. Oh right, that's the not safe for work artwork that I showed you guys that I will not be showing on here.
Yes.
But if you did a purchase, you got a little 3D printed Excalibur.
That's so cute.
So I have a sword. But yeah, she was really sweet, and Catriona, I think was. That's the only book I bought. I brought my only other book that I got signed. So
it's a gorgeous one. That was kind of I have mine here. I got 2. One because we were hanging out and partying with them. So ZS, I had to correct myself before I said Z. Some cozy fantasy there. But then the other one I got is actually, it's my favorite read so far of 2026, and I audiobooked it, so I was already looking for a physical one. And Salem was the one who was like, isn't that the book you like? Because it doesn't say anywhere on it that it's for whom the bell tolls. Yeah. And this was a con exclusive, and I think it was one of the only con exclusives I saw, which I'm surprised they didn't utilize on that. So there's the help desk, and then
so cool. What's the name of the book?
For Whom the Bell Tolls, but it's J.C. Lynn. Bell is in Belle. But it's like just gorgeous.
I just love the end, the dust jacket.
I know, right? With her paradise, which is a hobbit hole on the back.
Because obviously.
I
need to read that book.
It's so good. I recommend. But yeah, one of the few con exclusives, I think it was Simon and Schuster, did it. And I'm surprised that more publishers didn't take advantage of doing con exclusives, because there's so many that I probably would have bought if it's like, well, I can't buy it anywhere else, rather than some of them I'm like, I'm good. That's fine. I'll get it at home. Especially for
with how much publishers are like
doing special editions and stuff.
Yeah, Simon and Schuster did this one. So but yeah, and then my other 2 I brought with me from home because I already had them. So I was like, I don't need more. But
yeah. I got 3. Also because we were hanging out with them.
Yeah.
Honor, which is the green cover.
You got the green cover, yeah.
I think this one is way prettier than the purple one. And it is, if you haven't heard, it is
but I just really like the dragon.
Yeah. I don't know. And even the inside is very pretty. But yeah, so if you haven't heard, this one is a compilation of a bunch of indie authors all writing short stories based on honor. So I got that one. Sharkbate convinced me to get Cemetery Boys. I've heard good things about it. And she finally, we were sitting there and I was like, it's signed. She's like, yes, you should read that. So I was like, okay, I'll put that in my basket. And
really
then
very YA, but very cute.
Yes. And then I have been looking for a stage set for villains. I've also heard great things about this book. But it had very pretty sprayed edges, and I haven't. And it's got. I haven't looked at the cover.
I didn't see
plain
that.
red cover, but on the inside. So I'm excited.
Pretty.
Nice.
To get into those.
Yeah.
But
I love that.
Yeah, and then we all got cool other. Well, my only other merch I got was my Obstinate Headstrong Girl t-shirt. They were selling the God Damn It donut, and they sold out within an hour. I walked up and I was like, "Can I get a medium of God Damn It donut?" And she's like, "No, you cannot." And I was like, "Oh, can I get the Pride and Prejudice one?" And she's like, "Yeah, that one you can have." And I was like, "Good, thanks."
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah,
you guys got puzzles,
I didn't really
right?
get. Oh yeah. Puzzles.
I set all my books on top of the puzzles.
Mine still have the plastic wrap, so it's probably not going to work.
So do
my
mine.
Camera, my light, but got.
Oh, there you go.
This one's from Six of Crows, and then I realized afterwards that both of mine were Lee Bardugo, because this is Ninth House.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And because I was standing in line holding two Lee Bardugo puzzles, I kept my invitation.
Yeah, of course.
As you should.
Okay, explain.
So
which
great.
you can't. You can't talk about that yet, right?
Fuck it, I'm fine.
Okay.
So I was standing in line and someone came up and was like, "Oh, do you like Ninth House?" I was like, "I love Ninth House." And they said, "Do you want to be my best friend?" And I said, "Obviously." And they handed me this, which is an invitation to pop over to the Macmillan booth, where I got to listen to a little snippet of book 3 in the Ninth House Hellbent trilogy, which is going to be called Dead Beat. So very excited. It was awesome. There's a very potentially amusing video of me out there or on someone's phone on the Macmillan staff, because I was just really shook when I heard that clip. It was like 3 minutes long of me just being like, and then going, repeatedly.
I love it.
So anyways, that was really fun. Definitely one of the highlights of the weekend for me. I also realized I stuck a bunch of papers and things in here, including my Post-it note.
Yeah.
And all of the stickers that I bought. So
many stickers.
I did not even bring all the stickers I brought down here to record. Yeah. So I bought a lot.
These were apparently stuff in the envelope. So
oh, there you go.
Not planned.
Puzzles wise, I also Dungeon Crawler Carl, of course. And then I love The Cruel Prince. I don't ever talk about it, but I think this is one of my favorite YAs. And this one was very pretty. This one came with a book plate, and I'm going to put it in one of my special editions. So.
Nice.
Yeah. I got a book plate too. I can't. Oh yeah, Tracy Dion, Legendborn, for one of the stickers, because I got a bunch of stickers, including a Cruel Prince one.
Mm-hmm.
I also just found those temporary tattoos that we found.
Oh yeah,
supposed temporary tattoo.
Well, so I realized I was wrong. This plastic, it's not the sticker peeling off the back. It is plastic peeling off the front. It's definitely a tattoo.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm
okay.
See, I don't know if you can tell, but like it's literally just peeling the cover off. So
okay,
we have tattoos to use.
The neck tattoo here.
Perfect.
I love it.
Totally not weird.
Yeah.
Anywho,
I was gonna comment because both of you guys got from Kingdom of Threads that, in my opinion, they did BookCon the best.
Yes, I agree.
That's who I met Veronica Roth through, and like as much as it sold out instantly, it was very well done of, clearly a smaller group, but the moment I walked up with my reservation, they were like, "Yep, here you go, stand there." They were on top of it. They had pre-signed plates because I got one book signed, and then they were like, "Well, you get 3," so gave me 2 other plates. But then you guys, when you were purchasing, it was also a seamless,
yeah. They had
It was
the
like
line marked out on the ground, so that was nice. So
the
and the directions
line.
to go.
There was a line to get in,
Yeah.
and then when you had what you wanted to buy, there was a line to check out that was like outside of the booth, which I thought was a little dumb,
Trust.
but
Yeah. They trusted us a lot.
Yeah.
and also trusting. But like it ended up not taking very long. It worked out well, and I didn't see anybody walk off with stuff. They just stood there in line to check out, which that made me very happy, given what I'd heard about Saturday and attitudes. So
Yeah.
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 the only
No.
other
And
thing,
everybody at that booth was lovely too. Like,
Yes.
so nice.
We like the guy that was doing the line to get in was like cracking jokes the whole time, and then even the lady that that checked us out was like talking it up, like all the things that we got. So I mean, even though it was con day 2, they still had the energy. They were still doing really good.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's the person who was in charge of sending you towards Veronica Roth or letting the ADA line go in front of you. Just kept asking everyone, are we surviving? Are we thriving? Are we vibing? Like everyone. She's like, are we vibing? Like, are we thriving? And I'm like, I like you that she was just like chill with it. Like very nice.
Cute.
I'm like, can we move up slightly more? Just make friends, right? When everyone's just like not moving. And she's like, no, I need you to take the 2 steps. Just keep it moving. And she just did a really good job with that. That I'm like, kudos
That's what
to
you gotta do. Yeah. That is exactly like almost verbatim what I say when I do line management for cons. It's like we're all friends. Let's get cozy. We're all fans of the same genre, the same author, the same person. Like whoever it is you're in line for, we're all here to see the same person. Let's get cozy, make a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. That's what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Just make a joke.
Yeah. No, they were
also,
phenomenal.
They did a bunch of signings. While we were passing by, Sharkbate yelled at Matt Dinneman.
Who yelled back?
Fine. Call me out.
It was a great experience.
I was.
I think it was honestly one of the funniest little snippets.
Love you, Matt. We do love you.
I think, and then he was like, thank you.
No, he said, love you too.
I love you too. That's
way funnier.
I
almost forgot about that, actually. I like walked right by him later when we were whatever publisher booth we were in at that point. I think I was wandering around solo, and I just like wasn't paying attention, and I like walked right by him and like kind of like, but I was like, sorry, sorry, you're signing things. I'm not trying to get in the way. But that was fun.
Yeah.
The only other thing I bought were these little, what are those, like articulating 3D printed
yes.
things. But I got them of Toothless and then the white dragon from How to Train Your Dragon.
That's
and
so cute.
You guys, I gave them to my husband when I got home. So like background for viewers / listeners who didn't hear this story already, my husband and I had 2 cats that we thought of as like the 2 dragons from How to Train Your Dragon, because that's what those dragons behave like and look like, is cats. Like anyone that says dog, I'm like, you are 100% wrong. They're cats. But anyways, both of our cats passed away in January, February, and like within 3 days of each other, 5 days of each other. It was rough. But so I got these 2 mini 3D printed dragons of the 2 dragons, and I put them on his chest. I made him close his eyes, and I put them on his chest when I got home. And he like opened his eyes. He's so in love with them. He like the first day he like brought them into his office with him and like put them on his desk. And yesterday he brought them into his truck. He got like a non-slip. He got like one of those non-slip mats for his dashboard.
Oh, that's so cute.
And he put them in his truck, and it's so cute.
I love
it's
that.
so cute. I like want to die. I was just like, I don't know what to do with you. You're so fucking adorable. But so that was definitely my best purchase, because it just brought some serious joy to his life and my life by watching it. But so that was cute.
That's amazing. I love that.
And I don't have them with me because they're in his truck, but Skipper can paste a video of a photo of them or something.
Insert here. Yeah.
Insert photo of printed dragons.
I love it. I love it. Yep.
It was precious.
But yeah. The only other thing is I purposely put behind me the LaCroix bag that everybody they kept us hydrated.
Got that one.
I'm so fucking oblivious, you guys. Like, I saw all these pictures and I was like, where was that? I apparently walked like right through it repeatedly.
Literally in the middle. Like, well, and it was weird until people were walking around with LaCroix bags. I had not seen it. Like, same thing. It was just total blindness where I was like, it doesn't matter. But they had like a little, like a cute little like truck, like a trailer almost. And then they had a photo up on one side. They had a couple umbrellas. Like, it was probably like the biggest booth.
Okay.
Yeah, they put like a whole
pool in the middle.
Yeah.
I saw the pool.
Guys. So it was directly behind the pool. You just had to stand in the line for literally 30 seconds. It was the fastest
This is why I need a handler.
They just kept like, there's your water, there's your bag. Or you could choose. You could get a LaCroix lover's hat if you really wanted. You could get a hat. But I think almost everybody
totally should have gotten for my friend Jenny, who hates LaCroix. She's like, if LaCroix has no haters, Jenny is dead.
That's funny. Yeah. But they were the only big sponsor, it felt like, that was not book related, because obviously the publisher's there, Kobo was there, there was a couple of
Amazon was there, but they were in their own separate place.
Yeah,
because they had their Audible thing.
Yeah, they had a little Audible walkthrough thing that you could go to. I think it was on the 4th floor.
It looked kind of cool. I'm kind of bummed we didn't check that out. I don't know if you saw the line. There was. Although I don't know, like it seemed like once you were in the experience was really worth it. Like Jacqueline from the Bibliovert posted her thing, and like they had someone in there like live embroidering like the bags that you got. Like she had Bibliovert embroidered onto her bag. Like that was like there was there.
There was so much stuff. Like I keep seeing other things where I'm like, how did we miss that?
Yeah. I think like that's a good thing, in my opinion.
Yes.
Right? Like that to me belies a lot of the other stuff we have heard. Right?
Yeah.
Like that it like there wasn't like anything to do. There wasn't anywhere to sit. There wasn't anywhere to go. That wasn't like standing in line the whole time. Like it's clearly not true. That said, having the cafeteria not open is insanity.
Yeah.
I know like the first day someone else had half the Javits and like that, but then Sunday we were solo, and so like they just like literally didn't have the cafeteria open. That's kind of batshit to me.
Yeah.
And that one tweak would make a huge difference because like it's somewhere people can like go grab food, sit down, like talk. At this is a random aside sort of, but like at a Polycon every year, which is happening right now while we're recording. I used to, when I lived in Northern Virginia, I used to like go to hang out and like lurk with my friends in the venue, like without a ticket. We would just like hang out in the non-ticketed areas, in like the cafeteria, the cafes, like food halls, wherever it was. And that was always really nice. Like people would always just like meet up and like have a drink, have a snack. I think that's the one thing that's missing is like more places for people to just like sit and talk and like be in the community, because that was like that's the best part of conventions is like getting to hang out with hundreds and thousands of people who love all the same things that you love.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and there were some seating areas, like there wasn't a lot on the con floors, which was kind of hard to navigate, but then there was the Grove upstairs, and that one had limited seating too, but I mean, like, they also had a crafting area. They had some, like, you could sit there and they had trinket trading. And so, like, there were some things that you could do up there to connect with people in a quieter space versus, like, downstairs on the other floors, it was really loud. But yeah, I mean, like, having a place to somewhat remove yourself and also take a break, because I think that was one thing that we were talking about while we were there is like, why is there so much negative feedback about some of this? And I think there were a lot of bookish people who can get overwhelmed. And I think because of the culture of like bookish community, there are a lot of people that can get overwhelmed easily, and then going to a big convention like that, you get overwhelmed really easily. And so being able to have a cafeteria like that open where there's a separate space where you can remove yourself for a little bit might have been more beneficial for people. And to just sit there, eat something, drink something, and not feel like you're looking around at everything all the time.
Yeah. I think I'm hopeful that like they'll expand the Grove next year. Maybe put in like a puzzling room or like a
that'd be
game
cute.
room or something that's like, because like the Grove, I think it's nice, like they have like the crafts. But even like if the Grove was literally just like a chill, quiet space with like
Yeah.
a little bit of stuff, like maybe friendship bracelet making, but like
Mhm.
quiet stuff. And then they have other like demo crafting things, like because they have the
Yes.
bookbinding thing, which is so dope. I love that they had someone up there like teaching people how to bookbind.
Yeah.
That's becoming so popular. I just think that's really cool. And that is like a lot of people I think are like, I don't know where to start. It seems really
Yeah.
hard.
Absolutely.
So that was really cool. But like it'd be cool to have like a space just for like demos like that. Like there'd be like a
Mhm.
cosplay demo, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
bookbinding demo, stuff like that. And then like quiet crafts in the Grove.
Mhm.
I think would be really nice to your point about like people feeling overwhelmed. Like it's nice to have something quiet, like a puzzle,
Yeah.
or like making something like crocheting,
Mhm.
quietly
Well,
in a room, but like with the people.
it's people. And I
We
was
like
just
our
going to say,
crafts.
we like our crafts.
We
They
do
also
like the
had
craft.
set up a quartet who was playing like the entire time,
Mhm.
but you just walked past them the whole time. I'm like, you should have done like seating and not just a like, oh, we're now looking at the quartet, but just put some tables and chairs around and have it so that people can just calmly
Like
sit
cafe
with.
style.
Yeah.
Yes. Like it was funny of like I give full credit to the people who took videos and posted them about the quartet because I saw them and I went, that's a thing, and kept walking and didn't even hear what they
Same.
were doing. And then people
No.
were
Again,
like posting how
oblivious.
beautiful. Yeah. And I feel like that's another opportunity. Like they just had these opportunities that it's like, just put some tables and chairs there, right? Like stick stuff in the corner
Mhm.
over here, make it
Well,
easy.
Salem, you remember at Dungeon at Dragonsteel, they had the like that like courtyard, that faux courtyard area where there was like the
Yeah.
fountain in the middle
Yep.
with the musician.
Mhm.
Like they
Yep.
could something like that would be perfect.
Which would
Yeah.
be fun because then you could I mean, okay, now this is me getting like ahead of myself. Like you could make little areas based off of different types of book genres. So that could be like a fun romantasy area where you have your fantasy fountains and things, and then you can have the quartet there. Like, or then you can
Or
have an
you got the
immersion room
murder
that's
Romance,
sci-fi
room.
literally,
based.
like
You got the
literally
murder
just like
room next door for mystery, just have some chalk
Oh my god, you
outlines.
could do a
We're
murder
gonna bring in
mystery
the
I was
room?
just about to
thrillers.
say you could do like a solve the mystery game like
Yeah.
every hour.
Yeah.
Okay, BookCon, hire
Listen
us
up.
and we'll give you
We have some
some
ideas.
ideas.
Those are cheap ideas too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, but anyways, I think
Yeah.
like awesome. And to be fair, like Awesome Con in DC that I've been doing since almost the beginning. I think 2014 was the first year. I started going in 2016. It expanded exponentially even just from 14 to 16, but then it's grown and grown and grown every year. But like they've also done a really good job of like improving as it's grown. It's not just
Yeah.
been like, oh, now we can just like cram more people into doing the same things. They've added a video game room, they added a table games room, they added a whole like actual science track of their panels where it's like NASA doing all of these panels and stuff like
That's
this.
cool.
Obviously, AwesomeCon is a more broad thing. It's not just books, but like, anyways, I feel
Yeah.
like
I also
there's
feel
the
like
sky is the limit.
Emerald City has done the same. Like when I went, probably I think the first time I went was either 2018 or 2019. There was not a lot. Like there were not a lot of panels. It was mostly cosplay, artist alley, and then like some other like shoppy spots. But it was like you walked in and there was a K-pop thing happening, and it was like, how does this relate
Yeah.
to Comic-Con?
Yeah.
And so they have gone and expanded. Every year they have a Star Wars room. They have Lego. They have like more interactive
Oh, Lego's
things.
good.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
like I feel like as conventions learn more and more about what their customer base wants, then they start to expand better. And I do feel like that's what is probably going to happen with BookCon. They're getting their feet wet this year because it has changed a lot in 7 years. Like 2019 has such different like themes and demands and things that have changed, and just online presence in comparison to
The
2026.
whole publishing industry has been flipped on its entire fucking head.
Yeah. So I
No,
do
for
think
sure.
that it's for coming back and not knowing what they were doing and kind of going based off of what they knew back 7 years ago. I think they did a pretty good job. I do think that there were a lot of learning lessons that they should, capitalize on. But I think they did a really good job also of, in Indie Alley, they had some of the like normal product vendors. And I think they did a pretty good job at not having repeat product vendors. So it wasn't like, it wasn't 4 3D printing booths.
It was literally just that one.
Yeah.
Like, I think that was the only one where I saw the like articulating animal stuff, which like has become increasingly popular. So like I was pleased to see only one. Yeah, the marketplace was great. I think that they called that like something slightly different than Indie Alley, but like I thought they did a great job of making sure that it wasn't just like 17 of the same like Funko Pop resellers.
Yeah, totally.
Because that's what, you get at cons is like they don't do any of that checking. They're just like, hopefully they don't get pissed off.
They also had a more limited space too, like in general, because they were sharing Javits with another convention of some sort for Saturday. So it's like, I think they had to nitpick which vendors that they accepted in order to fit in that one little space. Like really, it was a small space in comparison to other, or even just how big the whole convention center is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The only like real, again, I'm not gonna say gripe necessarily, but I was like, was, and that we haven't actually talked about, the three of us, I don't think, like since getting there. Like we talked a little bit in advance, but like that Saturday and Sunday single day tickets were the same price, but there were
Yes.
no additional events on Sunday. It was
I was just thinking that.
just
Yeah.
Saturday for all the evening events, but it was the same price, and all those events were included in that ticket price.
Yeah.
And that, I'm going to be honest, that made me mad when I realized that. And then I just let it go because there was nothing I could do about it.
Yeah.
Right. But that is definitely something I hope they change for future.
Yeah. I was just thinking that too, because you're talking about what other cons do, and Chicago C2E2 does a really good job of, they have their after dark because they partner with Cards Against Humanity, who's from Chicago. And so they have a comedy room the whole time, which is the best. Like when we go and you just need that break in the middle of the day of like, can we go sit? You just go watch Cards Against Humanity like riff on stuff or pull comedians out, but then they do an even like, I think during the day they're like it's 13 plus, but then they become 18 plus after dark, and they clear now. I mean, they could absolutely do it there where it's like you shut down the main show floors, you do all of that, and then you're just upstairs, and I forget what Chicago's convention center is called, but you're just off to the side, and all of that area becomes an 18 plus. Here's like there's other things happening, but the comedy show is always good. And so it's like, I get it. On the Sunday, the publishers want to be packing up, they want to be leaving, but you could open a different room and have like certain things happening that isn't as hard to pack up. You could have other things. But yeah, I agree with you. Like,
do it in the morning.
or
Like
do it in the morning.
do like brunch.
Yeah. I'm sure people would love like a bookish mimosa brunch.
That would be so
like
good.
a brunch with like a couple of the big authors.
Yeah.
Would be great.
Yep.
I actually think a Polycon does something like that. That is like a ticket level to have access to that. But like if they're gonna do it the same way as they did the ball, like it would just be open to everyone, and there's a line and there's a capacity, and like maybe you don't get in.
Yep.
Yeah.
It would actually be cool as well. I went to a brunch at Random House Canada. Is one of my favorite stories of all time. Is it was just booksellers, and we were told there was authors there, but they hadn't. They were all smaller author. There's a couple that were bigger, and you just sat down at a table and you were talking, and we were. It was me, three of my friends, and these two women that we didn't know if they're librarians, if they're other Indigo employees. And we talking and, oh yeah, what's your favorite book? And we're going on. And then the one just keeps staring at the other one and goes, and you could talk about yours. And it was one of the authors. And she's just like that person who was like, I don't want to. And it was her publicist was the one just staring at her being like, honey, talk yourself up. And
this
we became
is your time.
Yeah, we became really good friends. She ended up coming doing signings. Her publicist then became a joke if I'd be at all these other signings and her publicist would come find me and be like, oh, you're drinking again. Because I was like hardcore into the mimosas that day. Everyone at our table, the author was pregnant. My three friends didn't drink mimosas. So it was me and the publicist were just drinking mimosas. So then I've been at other signings like Sam Meggs. Turns out she has the same publicist that I like was standing there with the beer and this publicist was like, of course you are. But like it was a cool thing, even with all the indie authors, right? Like just take everyone at Indie Alley, stick them at different brunch tables, and they can sit there and sell their stuff, right? Like it would be a really
That'd be really cool.
I love that idea. I know it was mine, but I love that idea.
Yeah. It was a good one. Be proud of your
I love brunch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think all three of us are pretty much on the same page. Like we were there for the vibes.
Yep.
We're all kind of old hand at this time for cons and stuff like that. So like, while we had some frustrations about things, like it was mostly a great experience.
Yeah.
I totally will do it again.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah.
Maybe we'll book a different hotel.
One that's not this far from
shoebox
between the bed and the TV. I could literally
Skipper just crab walking past the TV.
Yeah. We'll figure out the dimensions of the room next time. But I think yeah. I think all conventions there's gripes. I know Toronto Fan Expo, I have so many more gripes, and it's the second largest in North America. So they're still doing well. Everyone still goes, and I'm like, what is happening at this one? So I think people trying to see the positive over the negative, and especially if it is your first con, like check it out. Try and have different points of view on it.
Check your perspective. And your expectations, perhaps.
Yeah.
And
even then, I mean,
entitlement.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
Just a thought.
Yeah. But I mean, if that was overwhelming to you, LA Festival of Books, I've been to that as well. It is less overwhelming because it's outside. So I think there is some people who are like, if you want that calmer tone, go over to LA, go to the other coast, which I feel like they should not have done the two on the same weekend. That seemed like a whole thing. But that one, at least I feel like feels calmer because you're outside the whole time and you're like, I can feel the sun. I can breathe some fresh air. I'm literally touching grass. What's my perspective?
That's kind of
touching grass.
That's kind of the key thing there, though, is like all of the like issues were kind of attendee made.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was thinking.
There is some planning and organization that could improve those situations, but like from what I saw, a lot of the like was just people, attendees, being shitty to each other.
Yeah.
And
well, the amount of times that I get that I was close quarters and I didn't have a backpack on. I had a book bag and that was it. And people still shoulder checked me. And like, there was legit one girl that was walking elbows out. And like, and it's just like, guys, just, if you need a break, go sit somewhere. Like, that's my thing. Is like,
you don't get to like come out in my public space and be like, I need space. Well, then fuck off. Like,
yeah. And I do agree. I think a lot of the issues were person made. And I feel bad for the people that were victims of that, because there are stories of that where they had a negative experience because somebody else was an asshole to them. And that's not fair to them. But I also think that's where the privilege check, the entitlement check needs to come in. And we are all people here for the exact same reason.
Yeah.
Maybe be nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bumming me out, people. Jesus.
Yeah.
Don't be an asshole.
At least for our group, we surrounded ourselves with people that were positive.
Yes.
And we identified when the lines were too long, and so we walked away. And we didn't deal with those things.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's one where I went, absolutely not.
Yeah. I think we walked up to one. It was like, first thing, we were trying to see if we could get in line for ARCs, and this lady's like, I don't remember what it was. I think I walked into one, and she was like, I was getting ready to walk into the booth, and she's like, are you coming in here to shop? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, you need to get in line. And I was like, okay, I'm leaving. Like,
bye.
We're not doing this.
I'm not getting in line to browse.
No.
That's
no.
Yep.
Wild.
It was out of print. That's what it was. It was Random House out of print. We could not figure out how to get into that. And it took us like looping around, and they kept yelling at us because we were in the wrong spot, because they had the out of print display where for Random Houses, really the only merch that you're buying was directly next to where the signing was happening. And they're like, you have to remove yourself from the signing. And you're like, well, then you shouldn't have what you're trying to make money off of.
I'm not trying to be in the signing.
Well, and then they had another line for something else, and I don't know what that line was for. Like,
I swear to God, it was literally just to get in the display.
I don't know. I have no idea. There were random, I love Random House, but I think they were the ones that needed the most line management.
Yeah.
I agree.
They were trying to separate all their lines around the booth. It did not work.
Yeah.
But I also don't think they had enough staff in order to make that work.
I also was curious, and this is my like event planner / my best friend does booth design for conventions. And so I'm of course like, I wonder if this was like if this is their booth setup that they have, that like everything's pre-printed, prefabbed, like that they have all this stuff, and they just like they knew their dimensions, they plunked it down where it was, but they didn't take into account what was going to be around them.
I think
and that goes with all of the publishers. And that's what I mean. Like, I mean that for all the publishers, all the 20 by 20s. I was like, or I guess they were probably 40s, but regardless, like of the dimension, I was like, this, where they are in relation to each other, where they are in relation to the other booths, like this feels like it feels like it wasn't designed for this space, which is 100% okay, because that shit is fucking expensive.
Yeah.
But you need more.
My question was whether or not like they had in a row, right? Like they had all the small stuff on the outside, and then in a row was, I forget the order, but Random House, HarperCollins. I think Simon and Schuster was weirdly off to the side, but then Macmillan. There's definitely three, and then Kingdom of Threads. We're all in a row with Simon and Schuster slightly off to the side. And part of me is like, you needed to put the big four publishers in the four corners with LaCroix in the middle, right? Like, give people the space that LaCroix had that like weird open, instead of pushing them up to the front, and then space out so you don't have Random House and HarperCollins and Macmillan fighting over where their lines are supposed to be when they are the biggest booths here. Like,
well, and
also
even just with that
one
setup,
person, like also like make it so that one person can't go get an arc at all four, like boom, boom, boom at the very beginning, and then fuck everyone else that was behind them. You know what I mean?
Well, and even if you put them in the four corners, how they had in one of the corners the merch booth for BookCon, they were able to make that line go back and against the wall, where all of the publishers could have done that, and it would have freed up all the space on the floor. Like, I think that would have been much better. And I almost wonder, I don't know how cons work. I don't know how like applying for a booth works, but I almost feel like when it comes to the publishers or the bigger booths, they need to send their plans to the convention and get it either approved or like make it so that they can move them around to wherever they need to be.
So they like, so it's unlikely that they send them like, first of all, half the time the schematics are like not totally correct.
No.
But like I will say like it's less about getting the con floor approval and more like whether it's like physically going to be possible to do in the space.
Mm-hmm.
And that's usually like the main issue. To be fair, my friend has worked historically on booths that literally involve like displaying tanks. So like pretty complex shit.
Yeah.
But I agree, like that. I don't even think that that's strictly necessary if the you know requirements provided by the con are like you have to have at least 2 points of ingress and egress.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
we're just planning the whole convention.
I
now.
know.
Yeah.
Let's go. Well, to kind of wrap it up, very positive, and I feel like all of us came out, at least me, and I know Salem talked about it. I assume you as well, Sharkbate, with it. It's like, when's the next one? Like, I'm already sitting here being like booking off time for. I'm going to Yeti Con, which is a very small, but it happens in a ski resort. And I was only going to do the 2 days, and I like booked. I was like, no, I need all 3 days. Like, I'm going.
Love that.
I'm
That's
like,
so
when's
fun.
Ren Fair? When are we going next? Yeah.
Yep.
So
Ren Fair in Virginia, Richmond, happened this weekend while we were in New York. So
No.
come
Mine
to
doesn't
Hamilton.
happen until
It's in a couple
July.
weeks. Mine's in like mine's in May. Come visit.
I wish mine was in May.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
Maryland
I've
Ren
heard
Fair is the best.
I was
It's
gonna say
like
I've heard good
2
things
months
about that
long,
one.
3 months long, something insane
Yeah.
like that. It's like the end of August through the beginning of October. It's so good. And that village stays up like year long. That's incredible. I'm obsessed.
But yeah, I feel like we all came out of
I
it from the
agree.
point of view of like we had such a positive time that it's like, okay, what's happening next? It didn't turn us off. It didn't. I mean, we're all life conners, but it's like, yeah.
Also, just like being together, doing the meetup on Saturday, and like meeting all the girls, and then going to Jill and Carla's party was just like, it was really nice doing like community stuff and like being with the people. And I
I
just
think
can't
that's
wait
the
for the
coolest
next
thing
event.
about con. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the coolest thing about con is that you have the opportunities. Like, even if you don't go to the after dark stuff, like, you can still meet up with other people because there's going to be so many. Like, there are so many people. I think we were talking about it in the hotel room. Like, all of a sudden I'm seeing, like, oh, these authors were there. I didn't see any announcements for those authors being there, but they're there. Or just, like, other, like, book talkers and bookstagrammers. Like, I'm like, I didn't know you were there. Where were you? I wanted to say hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I loved it. Well, I don't know if you guys do this, but like I meant to do it in the hotel room, but I totally forgot. But we do like peaks and pits or like roasts and thorns. You know, like what was your favorite and least favorite thing of the con? And I want to know what y'all's are. I can go first if you want.
Yeah, go first.
Ahead. Okay. My peak is probably a tie between this, because that's like a small peak, but Saturday night, just like the Howler meetup and getting to meet other Howlers that I haven't met in person and getting to meet some people in person that I've become like really good friends with online. And like just in general, sharing a hotel room with the two of you. Pit. I actually didn't think about this. Pit would probably be getting a blister on the bottom of my foot.
Oh yeah.
On Sunday.
That was a pretty bad blister.
It was a little gnarly. I also found another one on my toe yesterday.
I found
was like,
two more today. I was like, where did these ones come from? Were you there? What's happening? Why are there more blisters? Yeah. I like that.
Those are my peak.
I like it. My peak was I'll copy of hanging out with you guys and meeting people. It's always my favorite part of seeing just the Howlers or the authors that we met and the other content creators, and then seeing them throughout the day on Sunday. Like, I think it was great that we met everybody on Saturday and you could like point and be like, oh, there you are, we talked. My pit was walking up escalators that don't move because it weirds me out. It's like trips me up that I'm like, why isn't this moving? I'm like, what?
And it moved a little bit.
I was
when you stepped on it.
Yep. Why can't they get their escalators to work? What was that?
Also, why do escalators that have turned into stairs feel so different than stairs?
I hate it.
Why is that?
They're bouncy. It's weird.
Yeah, if they were just stairs, I would have been fine. It was when we were leaving. I'm pretty sure it was like the end of Sunday, and we were going up.
Did you guys know that?
And we were like, ugh.
You know that the Mitch Hedberg joke, right? Like escalators can't be broken. So escalators, temporarily stairs.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Weirds me out though. Yeah. So there's my pit, is walking up an escalator. Yeah. Don't like it.
it's a good one.
So my peaks. So I like Saturday night. I think that was really fun. Like we packed so much into like 3 hours that it felt like it was all day. And yeah, I think that was a really fun place to network with other people. So that was really fun. And then my other peak for AtCon was I had a bunch of stickers and patches on me, like in my pockets. And so every time like a Howler was like, oh, I love your jacket, like I'd turn around and be like, oh yeah, here, have a sticker. And they just get so happy. Or like have a, like I had my Pity Them patches and like they always got so excited for those. They're like, oh my God, I get this. And I'm like, yeah, you can trade things at cons. It's totally okay. Please take it.
Yeah.
And so it was fun to like interact with some of those people. So there were not a lot, like we did see some people in Red Rising gear, but there were not as many Red Rising fans, or because we were all wearing our Proctor jackets.
Yeah.
There weren't really that many people that noticed or said anything about it. So, but when they did, it was fun.
Yeah, there's someone at the sushi restaurant, right? Who they could see I think yours. They could only see one of ours at the time, and they're like, "I really like that." And we're like, "Okay."
Yeah, she came over and she like tapped me on the shoulder and she's like, "Hey, I really like your jacket." And I was like, "Oh." And I was so tired at that point. I was just like, "I'm so hungry. I can't have a conversation with you right now."
But oh my God, and I don't even remember anyone talking to you in the restaurant.
Like, you might have gotten up to go use the bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember.
Because like, I was so out of it by the time we were there. I was so tired.
Yeah. And then I think my pit was the Highline was closed, and we were trying to go do things.
God.
So and it looked really cool, but
I was bummed about that too. It made you walk around an extra like mile.
That's where the blisters came from.
Probably. That's why you don't remember.
I've blacked it out.
Yeah.
Oh, all good peaks. All very reasonable pits.
Yeah.
Yes.
And not horrendous pits. Like it wasn't.
No.
Like
perfectly reasonable, but like harmless pits.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching or listening, however you take in this. Thank you both for joining, and thanks for an amazing weekend. It was so good. Thank you, Sharkbate, for putting it into Legend Legion of like, who wants to do this? And that was when the students were like, yeah, and you're like, I booked a hotel room. And we're like, okay.
None of us had tickets. None of us even knew if we were gonna get tickets. We were just like, I booked a hotel room. Does anyone want to join?
Yes, I do.
Let's go to New York and see what happens.
Because I think we could have had a good, even if we hadn't have gotten in, we would have done all of our stuff on Saturday. We probably would have found fun things to do. So it's just, as you said, like being around that con environment is always fun. So thanks for thanks for initiating that and throwing it in there. That was fun.
Thanks for being willing to stay in a hotel with someone you've only met once for about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, I spent a whole weekend with you.
You did. But Skipper had not, and we hadn't done that before we decided we were going to do this.
True.
So, all right, I gotta go pick up my cousin at the airport.
Hot
Oh,
dog.
But
okay.
All right.
it was
Well,
lovely chatting with y'all.
thank you, everybody.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.